The title today is Don't Read Your Book of Yahweh. So I'm here to tell you today I don't want anyone reading their book of Yahweh anymore. Pastor has told us to study the book of Yahweh. Study the book of Yahweh. And there's a difference. Turn to Revelation 1, verses 1 through 3, and we're going to be here for a while, so I want this to stay on the screen for you. Revelation 1, verses 1 through 3. And it said the revelation, and the word revelation, if you look it up, means a revealing. To make something manifest. It just means to reveal something, right? It's not a big scary word like the world tries to paint it. So the revealing of Yahshua Messiah, which Yahweh gave to him. So you've got Yahshua Messiah, he's in the scenario here, which Yahweh gave to him to show his servants. Now that's all of us. Things which must shortly come to pass. So we have a time period here. A time that will shortly come to pass, right? And the New Translation, remember, it says, come to pass in intermediate stages, even, if you're studying your prophetic words and newsletters. Then it says, and he sent and signified it. He signified it through his Malak. Now we got another person here. Yahshua's Malak, right? I want you to really look at this here because you've got Yahshua revealing something that Yahshua wants to tell his servants about a time period, and he's using his Malak to his servant Yahchanan. So Yahchanan, now I want you, there's another person here now that's mentioned, to his servant Yahchanan, who has testified the word of Yahweh, yes, testified the word of Yahweh, that's what he does, and to the testimony of Yahshua Messiah, and to all things that he saw. So he testified the things that he saw. What did he see? Who did he see? Do you ever wonder? Blessed is he who reads. Blessed. Now we're reading and we're studying. Blessed is he who reads and studies, and those who hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written in it, for the time is at hand. Okay, so do you see right there? We're looking at that scripture. We're studying that scripture. Who did Yahchanan see? Well, we put in the Gematria. Yahchanan has seen YH, 1074. Now, for those of you who don't know, 1074, as you can see on that Gematria, I put the little picture of the overseer there. That's his car tag. That's his tag that Yahweh gave to him, and we're also tagged with this family tag. So Yahchanan has seen YH, has he not? And you can see it if you really break down and study Revelation 1, verses 1 through 3. Yahweh shows you that his Malak, it's his Malak, which is our great overseer. That word Malak in that scripture, in the King James Version, it's angel. And when it's translated and you look it up in the Strong's, it simply means a messenger or a pastor. Look it up, a messenger or a pastor. Now in Revelation 22, verse 16, so we had Revelation 1, and then we've gone through this whole scary book of Revelation that the world is so afraid of. Now we're at the very last chapter. And Revelation 22:16, Yahshua says it again. He says, I, Yahshua, have sent my Malak. He's saying it again. He says it in the beginning, and he says it at the end, to testify to you these things in the congregations of the house of Yahweh. Now, congregations, right? Right here in the house of Yahweh at Abel, we're a congregation. And this Malak is testifying these things to us. But I'll let you in on something. This morning at about 6 a.m., we were on a Skype class with many congregations in the house of Yahweh who are also tuned in right now, and they are about to listen to this Malak testify in this time period, okay? So this Malak is testifying in the congregations of Yahweh's house, fulfilling what Yahshua said. Remember, pastor is Yahshua's Malak. He's Yahshua's messenger. And we are so blessed. Remember what it says in Revelation 1 verse, 3? Blessed are we who hear these things, read these things, and understand these things. Blessed are our eyes, for they have seen, and our ears, for they hear. Remember that same Yahchanan was the one who said, he wrote that he testified and wrote down for us about Thomas. And Thomas had to actually see certain things, but Yahchanan wrote for us that there would be some that would actually believe without seeing. And that's us right here. I don't know how Yahweh does the things that he does. I just know that he does them. And I know that Yahchanan saw YH. I wanted to get to this part here because Pastor, in the Mark of the Beast, Volume 1, in the introduction, Pastor was in awe of Yahweh too, and he said, if the study of prophecy is as fascinating to you as it has always been to me, you know, he's saying, you're going to love this book. He was talking about the book. The very fact that there's a super being so intelligent that he's able to look thousands of years into the future and foretell events that will come to pass in detail has always inspired me to search his writings. Yes, Pastor searches Yahweh's writings. It is very difficult for the human mind to understand such a phenomenon. The human being does not have the power to know what will take place even in a week in advance. Many have tried to foretell the future, but they always fail miserably when their prophecies are put to the test. But there's a being, Pastor says, who's capable. He not only has the power to know what will take place tomorrow, he knows what will take place 6,000 years in each individual's life that he's called out for his service. This being has foretold what would occur in one individual's life in a certain day, at a certain time in that day, and even gave details of that event thousands of years before it came to pass. At the same time, this being dares anyone to try to prove him wrong. This being is never wrong, even to the most minute detail. Remember, when Daniel saw the overseer raise his right hand and his left hand to heaven and declare, that was thousands of years in advance. Yahweh is amazing, and the time period we live in is amazing. So hold on to that amazing as we turn it over to the great and mighty priests in Yahweh's house. Praise Yahweh.